Don't begin a startup if you do not want to work at least 14 to 16 hours a day for the first, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, whatever it was. Do not begin a startup if you do not really like the idea and if you're not passionate about it. If you're just gonna do a startup because you want to do a startup and you take any idea where you feel it has some potential, I don't think you're going to see it through. You're going to, unless you have the mentality of some hardcore Spartan warrior, you're going to give up at some point. So begin a startup with something that you are passionate about, something that you care about, something that you like, or something that you know really, really well, so that you can make it easy for yourself. If it's none of those three, go do something else. That would be my simple advice. I came to Thailand about 7 years ago, and now I currently run PaleoRobbie as a company. We are a healthy food delivery. We focus mostly on premium ingredients, and we currently deliver to 5,000 expats every week. So that's kind of what we're doing. We apply the paleo principle in Bangkok in a funny way, is by basically going for mostly Western produce at the moment. So it was a bit of a challenge at the start because not much was available. And so we had to start importing ourselves for quite a lot of things. And when it came to things like chicken and other ingredients, they were not readily available, in the sense that paleo requires that your chickens are healthy chickens, and not a mass-produced battery chicken, basically. That was not available here, so we had to start our own farm for our chickens. So we currently have 7 to 8 families who are farming produce and chicken eggs, ducks, and things like that for us. And so it was a bit of a long and rocky road, I would say, to get to a proper paleo meal plan, but I think we're there now. So I would say it's we had to make it work for ourselves here in Bangkok. That's what I would say. I think what distinguishes us is that we have a prime target for health, and that's our primary focus, and we try not to deviate from that at any point. And the reason I started this is because I came to Bangkok, I would say 6, 7 years ago, to visit my brother who was living here, working for General Electric. And I stuck around for a little while, and I realized that it's very hard at that time to eat healthy. And because Thai food, in my opinion, at that time was very healthy, but I quickly realized there was a little that wasn't the case, and the more I dug into it, I found out why. And so any meal that you have in Thailand is laden with sugar, massive amounts of sugar. And at the start I didn't realize that, because it looks like green, and like vegetables, and I ate way more vegetables than I did before. But it turns out that if you mix that with a cup of sugar every time, it doesn't work. And the quality of produce that was being used wasn't the highest. So they were using very cheap oils that have been reused over and over and over at temperatures that are way too high. And you can go on and on and on and on. And so I realized that truly healthy food was not available at that time. And I just had come off a period where I was grossly overweight myself. I weighed 137 kilograms. And so I managed to get back to 90 kilograms, and that was shortly after I came to Bangkok. And so I really didn't want to go back to the way I was before. Trying to be healthy, I kind of had to cook myself with a few ingredients that were available in the supermarkets. And for me, cooking is not something that I love, honestly. I always saw it as a necessity to eat. And if someone else could make my food, I would be happy to do that option. But since that was not available, I started cooking, and it took me like 2 hours to cook, and I would eat it in 5 minutes, and I found that very unrewarding. And every time I looked at my plate, it's like, wow, that's all the effort, like that's not worth it. So it's like, how can I make it more worthwhile? So I invited some friends to my house, cook for them as well, because whether you cook for yourself or 5 or 6 people, it doesn't matter too much, especially if you make like stews and big dishes. So, like at least then you have a fun meal, and then they would chip in for some of the ingredients, and it became more worthwhile. But it kind of went like this. So within 2 weeks, my dinner table was full with 12 people, because every day they asked like, hey, can I bring a friend? Can I bring a friend? Can I bring a friend? And so I was like, hold on, people really like this kind of food, and so I said, you know what, I'll deliver it to your home. So I got a chef in, and we started cooking in my house, and I delivered it to them on a bicycle through Bangkok traffic to their houses, and they seemed to really enjoy it. So I said, we closed down for a little bit, and then 2 months later we decided to make it a company and really start delivering to a wider audience. Had a lot of challenges when we started PaleoRobbie, of course, is a large part because we didn't start it with any capital behind it. Most of it came from the money that I made with poker before, but we decided to do it really small because I wasn't really sure it was going to work, and I wasn't sure it was something that I wanted to do. Like I said earlier, I kind of got into it by accident, and it kind of grew organically. So the problems I face in Thailand specifically is that, first of all, like I said, the produce was not available to cook the way we wanted to. So that was one. Two is there's a lot to do with language barrier. Finding good staff, finding people that wanted to work with you in the long term was really hard here. And I would say it's harder to do here than in the West. This is just simply the availability of qualified staff is not that high. And then I would say the biggest challenges were all the mistakes we made ourselves. So to give you a small example, we decided to deliver in reusable boxes for the reason that we wanted to leave a small footprint. We didn't want to waste thousands of boxes a month. And so we had to pick them up. It doesn't work because what I quickly realized is people have their food delivered to the office at their front desk or anything like that, and they never meet our delivery staff. So there's no opportunity for them to give it back. And so we started bleeding boxes, and these boxes are $2 each. They're not cheap, and so we really want them back, especially if you do thousands a week. And if you're bleeding 30% of them, that's a big issue. So how to fix that, and I still haven't found the answer. So there's many of these things that in hindsight I would have done completely differently, and that's part of me not having any experience, prior experience, and never having any delivery service or before. So I would say the next time I would do a lot more research before I start. Now I kind of just started because, like I explained earlier, but if I were to do it again, those things are easily preventable. So the future of food tech is quite interesting. I think the people of our generation, my generation, we don't really grow up cooking anymore like our parents did. So I know that my mother was taught how to cook, and it was kind of like her responsibility in the house to prepare food every day. But my generation doesn't have that at all. At least that's how I experience it. So for us, food is fun. Like going out for dinner is great, and it's a great way to socialize. But it's also a necessity. Like you just kind of have to eat, But we don't want to go to the supermarket, prepare all the vegetables, plan the week's food in advance, cook it. We just want to eat. So the future of food tech is definitely going to take all that hassle away, where I think more and more people will just want a sustainable way of food delivery straight to their place and make it easy for them. We don't want to waste too much time thinking about what we're going to eat every day. We just want to follow a certain pattern. And there's many ways that we can that you can do that. So what we do is, for example, we have a meal plan available, and you have 4 meals every day that you can choose from. It's enough choice that you don't spend hours on thinking, or what am I going to eat? Or that there's always something for you, and also not that you're going to waste your time, browsing through a menu of 50 different items. So yeah, I think food tech will replace a large part of people cooking at home in the future as well.